The Po' Boy Pundits podcast is brought to you by What Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. Pulpery Media presents Po' Boy Pundits with your hosts, Brock and Ben. This is where we discuss the political headlines that grab our attention and all those little jerks that infuriate us.
Ship to get out of the Mississippi, and then all that caused was hurricane. Why do we continue? I'm not controlling the weather, but why do we continue to ignore these giant systems?
Well, because you got a good portion of the country that, at least before they believed that we can control weather, which I didn't realize we were living in like Star Trek time.
Neither did I.
But that it's like it's not global warming; it's secular, so it'll eventually stop, and then things will go back to the way that we've always thought, which is like, but.
This shit's been happening hundreds of fucking years.
Yeah, and
like New Orleans has been wiped out a half a dozen times, at least.
And even then, it was like, I mean, you're talking. I think for New Orleans, I mean, that was what Katrina was. It was that moment where you're like, okay, this is not something that we normally have seen. You don't see a Category 5 just sit
for days
off the coast,
right,
and then just as Margaret Orby. Pound us.
Or Troy Aikman. He really pounded it up in there with his...
New Orleans got schlonged, by the way.
And then New Orleans and the Army Corps of Engineers were like, that shit ain't happening again. And they fixed it now. Like, we've gone...
As far as we know, yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We've only gone through three major direct hits since then.
Yeah.
Ida, the one that just happened...
Yeah, I don't count Theta. That was that one that like ran through in an hour.
Yeah, exactly. It was like it rains harder on a random Tuesday in the summer.
Yeah,
But at any rate,
that was like a 2 when it made landfall.
We've seen a 2 and I think 2 3s.
Yeah,
and
which like historically, that's what that's what the city's built to withstand.
Right. But
as we were saying, is that like Katrina's show too was that under different state administration, and both Democrat and Republican, just going like, well, we're gonna dig all these channels, going this way and that, either for the gas company or because we think it makes shipping easier. Then you realize you've created a funnel.
Correct. Yes.
That hits one particular spot in the levee.
If it gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
So.
But even so. Infrastructure. It's crazy. I was talking to a guy in the Caymans about the hurricanes and stuff, and now they have a code. Every new building has to be X whatever to withstand a hurricane.
Yeah.
Whatever the fucking verbiage is. So that's what it is. Why do we still have Florida building homes that, the big bad wolf can blow down?
In part, I would think... That's why they're uninsurable, is because they're not building it, and people don't want to pay the extra money to build it up to
I want to move to paradise
control.
In Florida.
Yeah.
Cheap way to do it is have a contractor buy up some land, put up some really cheap housing.
Yeah.
And have people from the north move in.
Correct.
And that's how these giant... I'm not going to call them retirement communities, 55 and older communities.
Sure.
Like, that's what they're big, beautiful houses or whatever, but it's fucking matchsticks and bubble gum.
Yeah, and then that's why all major home insurance companies are like, no, we're not dealing with that anymore.
Right.
And, now it would probably help if they were a little more transparent and said, if these people build their houses up to hurricane
a certain code.
Yeah.
Correct.
Then sure,
just like here,
we can insure.
In order to get flood insurance, your house has to be above a fucking flood zone.
Yeah.
That's it. Great. So why can't we do that for housing?
Well, I mean that even for here in New Orleans, I mean that works for us that live in neighborhoods that are above the flood zone.
Correct. We are not.
Yeah, but if you lived in like Gentilly,
oh yeah,
they're not gonna want to insure it, no matter even if, I guess, unless you had like pontoons.
Right. Like the house can do this.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine the insurance on all those houses on Bayou St. John.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
You mean or like the big ass houses?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I guarantee you, those are like,
they are built to withstand everything but a flood.
Yeah. And even then, they probably have watertight doors, as best as you can get.
Flooding is the worst insurance claim.
Yeah.
Like a roof, fine, I'll pay for a roof. Flooding is like you got to gut the fucking house. You've got to pay off all the shit contents in the house.
Well, and that's the sad part of, and I'm sure Florida has it too, is that we've polluted our waters around. Like, I mean, like,
no, the worst
imagine
thing?
Lake Pontchartrain water sitting in your house for like 2 days. Yeah.
The worst part about that is the floating ants. Remember those? Holy shit. Like giant apparently it's a survival thing. They all connect and float on top of the water, and they will destroy you if you get near them.
Ooh.
Fuck, those things suck.
That's
not as bad as like opening the door and having an alligator in your
I don't know. I might take the alligator
over the ants. Yeah, exactly. Because the alligator's like one thing you got to get away from. The ants are like a colony of millions.
Yeah.
So these are things, and then they're switching gears, but staying on this topic.
Yeah.
So then you get to all of the misinformation. Don't call it whatever you want. We are not creating fucking hurricanes. I don't care. You're delusional if you think anything otherwise.
Well, I mean, just to stay on that logic. So, the Democrats, a political party with as many dumbasses in it as any political party,
right,
somehow figured out how to control weather, but only by creating and moving hurricanes. We can't.
Right.
Go into drought-stricken areas. I mean...
You know what it is? We captured Storm.
Yeah.
And we have her locked in a basement. And when we need her to do something, we tell her to do it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That's what happens.
I mean, except for the slavery part. But, yeah.
No, I mean, she gets conjugal visits and shit.
If we can do that, how come we can't stop the wildfires in California, which is a blue state?
Or, droughts where farmers can't grow shit.
Right. I mean, that would be the best political tactic. Like, if you vote for us, we'll bring you rain. Like, all of a sudden, we're like some shaman. Or
right. Then we're back to where we... Okay. So, yes. But there are people that believe that so much. I'm sure you saw the guy or heard the phone conversation with the guy talking about his stepdad lost everything in North Carolina and is refusing aid because... He has heard that if he takes the aid, the government can take his shit. And he is refusing it.
That's not how right-of-way works, but,
and there are people like that. Like, fuck, I don't want to take this government's money.
Well, and the shitty part about that, too, is, by either doing stuff like that or, making it unclear how much money they get or where to get the money.
I've been through it.
There's been those... But, like, in North Carolina, like, people who this is their first time really going through this level of a natural disaster, like, because they're getting, misinformation from all sides.
Right.
They don't know where to go. They don't know how much money they're going to get. And then when they don't get what they think, that understandably they're pissed.
I was pissed.
But then you go in, like, it's unfortunate. But this, I mean, it goes...
But usually how it works is...
It goes way back. FEMA's been a shit show for a long time.
FEMA's just a fucking... not even a logistical thing. Administrative. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, and the problem is that they have to use states.
Right.
And so when you go into these... I'm not necessarily going to put that on North Carolina, but you look at how... Florida handles these. You look how Louisiana handles these.
Texas with Houston. Yeah.
And there's a common thread in there. That you have people who refuse government money, but then all of a sudden need that government money.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it becomes this shady-ass fucking shit.
And I'm not piling on these people, but they're the ones who are like, fuck socialism, blah, 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 blah. But then are now it's like Americans going into Mexico and being, you can't have it both ways, people. I am, by all means, call me socialist, but you deserve everything. You just lost all your shit. The government needs needs to help you.
Yeah.
End of fucking story. But you can't in 2 years when you got all your shit back.
Well, and that's the problem too. You're running into at this stage, particularly like in those.
And it all goes back to that disinformation bullshit.
Yeah,
I keep talking like Trump because I want it to get through to.
Well, and you have, and the disinformation starts with elected representatives, those that go in and vote to cut FEMA year after year after year after year. And for some reason, too, they end up being in states that get hit.
Correct.
Either wildfires, flooding, hurricanes.
Arkansas with
tornadoes.
Yeah. Yep.
And you go like, I mean, I understand, but, I'm probably, if you went to every senator in Maine, they're like, yeah, we're totally for FEMA. Right. Or Vermont.
Right.
And you're going like, well, you all haven't had, I mean, you got to deal with harsh winters, sure, whatever. But like,
nor'easters. Yeah,
these states that are getting pummeled year after year, right, the non-West Coast states, they're the ones that are calling for, eliminating FEMA altogether.
That, and we're not going to accept money for schools and free lunches.
Yeah.
We don't want any of that shit.
Unless it was for putting guns in schools.
Or Bibles.
Yeah.
But we'll ask for money for the National Guard to secure our border.
Yeah.
That just the money, and I know everybody's fucking corrupt again. Where New Orleans and Louisiana in particular, it's been terrible forever. Look it up. Forever.
Yeah.
It's the only reason this place exists. That, the port that we were just talking about. It's easy to make money here if you're there's no happy ground here. Because, a lot of those people, and my father-in-law lived right where Helene.
Yeah.
Is that? No, Milton.
No, I mean, well, he got hit by both, right?
Yeah, but Milton's the one the eye slammed into Siesta Key, which is exactly where he lived. And I've been there, beautiful. But it's an island, and now that island doesn't, everything's just pretty much gone. And if it's not gone, it had 8 to 10 feet of surge, of water. So
fucking crazy.
Right, and a lot of those people in that particular area where he's at, they have 2 high-rise condos. They were pretty much fine damaged. But behind it, there was like a neighborhood of houses, duplexes, all gone, and most of them didn't have insurance.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get insured on an island in a house that
in the Gulf of Mexico.
That was on ground level, like not even raised. Maybe,
good God.
Maybe 3 feet.
Yeah.
The driveways went up.
Yeah.
So like those neighborhoods, gone. No insurance.
Yeah,
And it's because of, I'm not going to blame it on anybody, but.
Well, I mean, that's partly on, like, civic and state construction codes.
Infrastructure.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Elon Musk.
I was going to say is that, if you put like a wind farm like a mile off there.
You could turn Florida into a wind farm.
Yeah.
With the giant ones that sit in the ocean like.
And you got a little something at least to cut down on the wind.
Yeah.
And then it's going to at least generate enough electricity to get you through whatever happens with the storm.
Correct.
And those things are so massive. We'd have to look it up. I don't know if a hurricane could actually like dismantle and then throw those blades into shit.
I've been close to them, and they are huge.
Yeah.
They kill birds and they give cancer.
Yeah.
But they are big. I'm sure you can make those to where they're hurricane proof.
Yeah, or at least, yeah. But fuck, I mean, now they got shit like that's generates electricity just by waves going over it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Florida, we figured out your jobs problem and your infrastructure problem. Now you just need to come.
The following segment has been brought to you by Whatever Lola Wants. Go to WLWPrivateChefs.com for information to reserve top quality chef and restaurant services in the Chicagoland area. The Po' Boy Podcast is a production of Pulpery Media, produced and edited by Ben Grimion, marketing by Brock Ryder, graphic design by Beck Ryder and Ben Grimion, music by the Heisenberg Compensators.